forallmasters.com. You know what it is. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. You get all of our interviews delivered straight to your iDevice the moment they drop. It doesn't get any easier than that. Okay, historic occasion for us today. Until now, Femme has kind of been a good old boys club, and not for lack of trying on my part. I've reached out to a few female artists in the past months, but for whatever reason, things just didn't work out. That's sort of my track record with girls in general. But anyway, I'm very happy to be speaking with our guest today, very talented female MC, Marquee.
What up?
What's going on?
I'm chilling. I'm alright.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful afternoon, and it's great to be speaking with you. I got a lot of questions.
I'm honored. I'm really honored that you reached out. It's like, just like putting it together, like contacting and finding people. I mean, you really have to be into the person as an artist to go to that level, and I appreciate it.
I kind of found you accidentally, and I'm glad. I'm really glad I did. It's weird. The internet has made kind of everybody available, you know, in some form or another, and it's good or bad. Sometimes, you know, it's not something you want to deal with, but I think today it's for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I think.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I think you know, a lot of questions that I've always wanted to know the answers to. Hopefully we can address them today.
Absolutely.
Cool. Now, you've gone by a few different aliases throughout your career, right? Marquee, Femme Markita.
Marquee, Femme Markita, just my regular government, Markita. Sometimes they spell it wrong, so, you know, it's kind of weird. There's been, like, recordings with, you know, it was me that did it, and there's somebody else's name there, somebody just assumed, and just putting it all together because I changed up a lot just about how the song made me feel at the time, because I didn't really think about like this form of media and, you know, how people would find it. I always just it would just all come together, and that's sort
of a very modern, very post-millennium notion of, you know, establishing a brand. You know what I mean? Like you have a name that's easily identifiable and searchable, and that's kind of the starting point. I don't really think, you know, 10, 15 years ago, before the big internet boom, people really considered that as much.
No, absolutely not. People always change their name, like Nas, Nasty Nas, you know, all Wu-Tang, they got all different Ghostface.
All different aliases.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was just, I'm not going to say it was a trend, but I guess it kind of, you know, it kind of is. And then sometimes you could just have something in your rhyme that, you know, is about the topic you're talking about, and you use a name and people assume that's your name.
Right. And that kind of reflects like an artistic sensibility more than a you know, a marketing scheme.
Yeah, I agree.
And that seems a little, it's a weird concept to kind of think of, but that seems a little bit more genuine, but it's an absolute, you know, no. In 2011, you just can't do that, because everything an artist does is based on, you know, can it be Googled?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know, some people, when they write, you know, they always put their name in it. I'm not one of those artists.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like really so into the song or into the verse that it doesn't dawn on me like, oh, they don't know who you are. You know, You know, it's something kind of like a media training practice that you have to like program yourself to do.
Yeah, but again, I don't really think people approach music that way in the 90s, you know? I think now people, for whatever reason, it's really been drilled into people's heads that, you know, you have to consider, you know, building a brand, or building, you know, not even just building a fan base, but you know, everything is so promotional heavy now. You know what I mean? It wasn't so much about just putting out the best verse, because putting your name into a verse doesn't always suit the verse. It doesn't always.
Absolutely not.
So what drew you to rap initially?
Oh, wow. That's interesting. It's a weird story.
Okay. That's what we're all about.
At first, I used to write poetry. And then, like, I was living in the projects in Redfern, in Queens. And we used to battle other girls in, like, cheers.
Yep.
And I started writing cheers to make my cheers better than, you know. And then it kind of evolved. Like, people would hear, you know, some of my rhymes at school. And then I was rhyming in the lunchroom, and it just evolved from there. Just from people like hearing what I have and like, oh, because I always, you know, thought about writing. Like I was always like, you know, people I was around, like write. And I just, saying somebody else's rhymes is not really, you're not getting across what you want to say or what you want people to know. And it used to freak me out when girls would be like, I write my own rhymes. You supposed to. Like, why are you saying that? Like, I mean, just say you're an entertainer. Don't say you're an MC.
Right. Yeah, that's the difference between, you know, a songwriter and an American Idol.
Absolutely. Although some of them
No,
are.
but there is a talent to
songwriters.
that. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean. There's a difference between being able to perform something well and be able to actually create something of your own.
But I also think that rap is different. Like singers, I mean, most people are accustomed to singers singing things that people that write for them have written.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of songwriters, but for rap, it's just not organic to me.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear a lot of dudes saying other dudes' rhymes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And as a female, was it ever intimidating entering into this world of rap? Because you're definitely in the minority.
Certain people, I wouldn't say it might have been intimidating at first, but once you get into the process, it's just like you're on an equal playing field. I always felt I was, because a lot of dudes I was better than, so it was fun to me. I'm like, you know, especially like the way I look, they would be like, "Oh, she's cute."
Yeah,
That's
on the flip side, did you ever have the advantage of, you know, maybe a lower expectation of what people are going to get from you?
Absolutely. Like in the Rock, like where I live, in the record store, you know, I went in there, and like some of the dudes know me from back in the days or whatever, and people know like some of the stuff, you know, oh, she rhymes, like they know that. So I was in there, and this dude, like, he wants to, you know, I don't think he thought it was going to be a battle. He's, oh, she's cute, you know. Then everybody, he's talking to me after, like, you need to get down on my team. Nah, you need to get down on her team.
Yeah. Is this someone we would have ever heard of, or?
It was just rhymes, you know. Dudes, you know, they would bring their CDs to the record store, and I would always stop by, like, you know, listen to stuff, and I knew the dudes that owned the store, so I was just in there rhyming, and he came in. Anytime you rhyming somewhere, that's how people get in the ciphers. You know, people just start, you know, everybody got something to say. Not all of it's good, but.
And you're from Far Rockaway originally?
I'm from South Jamaica.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you said something about Redfern, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm like all over Queens.
Okay.
Actually, I was born in Deer Park. Like, that's where my family lived. Don't know much about there. I was really young. But I spent the majority of my life in South Jamaica, and I moved to Rockaway, and it was kind of like a back and forth thing. So I did live in Redfern, for a while. And, yeah, know a lot of people out here.
All right, cool. Shout out to all of Far Rockaway, definitely.
Absolutely.
Now, the earliest work of yours that I'm familiar with are your appearances on Lord Finesse's The Awakening. How did that come about?
Well, I actually met him when I was 15.
Okay.
And that's when he was down with the Syndicate. And he was starting his first album. And we didn't really like meet on like some music stuff. We was on 125th, and you know, these days had the pictures or whatever. He's like, take a picture with me, and you know, we took a picture, and then, you know, after that, you know, I started to, you know, I was telling him, you know, what I do, and I kind of went to boot camp with them.
Oh, okay.
You know, in a way, like, you know, really honed my skills, and I was around, and you know, they only mess with a select few people. And I felt like it was a blessing and also an honor to be on a lot of songs with classic MCs.
Yeah.
So I was respected out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for a better camp than that at the time.
Well, it's hard to keep up. I mean, for some people, you know, it's not, you know, they are battle rappers. They are on the stage all the time. Yeah.
How big was the influence after that? You know, like from where you were as an MC before, you know, coming into the fold with Lord Finesse?
Well, my style evolved because simultaneously I was working with Die Hard a bit. You know, that's around the time when me and my girls, Femme Fatale, got together. But a majority of the songs that were published was in the beginning with Finesse, and Dalvin from Jodeci. He really reached out. He played a big part.
Yeah.
And Monifa played a big part in the beginning because she introduced me to Latifah, and that's how I started working on her, her album. So it kind of was a snowball effect.
Yeah, you brought up a whole bunch of things that I want to get to. I'm kind of scrambling to figure out where to begin. I definitely want to mention that you also shared a track with Big L.
Absolutely.
Not too many girls can claim that, if any others.
Just probably like me. I think just me and Liz Lucci.
Okay.
It's like Big Zill. She changed her names a couple times also. I think just her and I, from what I know, at least for songs that, well, for me, I believe I'm the only one that was on a published album with him. But he was like around all the time. You know, we were around each other a lot. We went on, you know, the tour in Japan together,
right?
Along with Organized Confusion,
and DJ
Showbiz and AG, Diamond, DJ iRock. So yeah, he was around a lot. But we actually, when we recorded that, we weren't in the studio together.
Oh, it was done separately. It
was a remix on Steven Simmons' album, an artist from Sweden that Finesse did the remix and put L on it, and L was really doing so much. You know, he just, you know, when I came in, I laid my part. He came in, laid his part. Yeah.
Now, for better or worse, I'd say you're arguably best known for your appearance alongside The Firm and Mary J. Blige on the intro to Cluminati 2.
Yeah.
Side B of Cluminati 2. I got it right here. So there's a lot of things to address about that. First of all, how did Femme Fatale form?
Wow. It was actually because it was actually through Monifa. She knew Hope, and she knew me. She knew that we both rhymed, and she was like, "You guys should meet." And we got together, and it clicked. And you know, our writing styles were, you know, people used to call us EPMD because our styles are so different, but they went together, and we always brought the best out in each other. And then there was a girl from Mount Vernon, Violet, and Mo also knew her, and she was more like a Mace kind of character. Yeah. So it really like brought attention to us as a group.
Are you still in touch with any of the members from Femme Fatale?
Well, Hope and I, we sisters.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we're not real sisters, but we sisters. Okay. So, yeah. But Violet, she kind of fell out the loop.
Okay. Now, how did Femme Fatale get involved with The Firm?
How did Femme Fatale get involved? Well, we got signed to Trackmasters.
Okay.
And I think that was through like a lot of, because Violet was like around the industry a lot, and word of mouth too. Like people just started hearing about these girls, you know, that rhyme. Because I got in ciphers with people that really got big. I was in a cipher one time with Mace and DMX.
Wow. And where was this? Where and when was this?
It was Part 125, and it was me, and we was under Umbrella.
Oh wow.
So it's like a lot of people, you know, when you all doing the same thing, you kind of cross paths. Like Queen, you know, she used to be around us. My friend was in a group, UTD, so Most Def was in the group with her. And we used to like go out and go to like Maria Davis events and stuff like that. And people would get on stage, and, you know, we would be on the train banging, rhyming. And, you know, everybody went their separate ways. Certain people signed here, certain people signed there. You know, Mo signed with Hev, rest in peace. God bless the dead. And Queen Pen went with, you know, Teddy Riley. Yeah. UTD broke up. And, you know, me and Hope went to, you know, Femme Fatale, and we eventually got picked up.
Now, was Femme Fatale intended to be included with The Firm in some way or another?
No, that's the big Femme Fatale, The Firm controversy. Yeah. Absolutely not. At the time, they was having problems with Foxy Brown. Yep. And we had crossed paths with her also because we used to go to Staten Island and work with R&S. And that's when she was sounding like Shaheem rhyming, you know, Shaheem was around or whatever. And she wasn't going to, you know, she wasn't meeting her obligations. Okay. She wasn't showing up to video shoots. And I don't think they planned to replace her. I'm not really sure what happened, but after a while, they was like, you don't want to come, don't come. Yeah. And then they put us on a song, and that was around the time with Cormega and Nature also. Yeah. So it ended up being Femme Fatale and Nature, and Cormega and Foxy was missing.
That was a real pivotal record, because that's when Nature threw the shot at Cormega about, you know, you got your spot jacked. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good look for you guys, because that freestyle had everybody talking for months.
Yeah, we definitely destroyed it. It was, yeah, that was fun.
Now, I mean, you're on a track with Nas and Mary J. Noriega. Was it all recorded together?
That was actually recorded together.
Really?
Because, what happened was, you know, we only had a certain amount of bars, so we decided to go back and forth. Yeah. So it's kind of, you know, what we wanted to do was make it sound like one person, and I believe that we achieved that. Yeah. Because it's hard for people to know who said what.
Yeah, and, you know, I wasn't familiar with you guys before that mixtape came out, and you know, it took me a minute to figure out that it was more than one person, and then I didn't know who was who.
This guy on the internet was arguing with me. He's like, Fatale was 2 people. I'm like, dude, that was my group.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm telling you, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, okay, sure, whatever.
But you know, that's kind of one of the trap falls that mixtape artists from that era come out of, is that there's a lot of mystery. And to me, it enhances it, because that's kind of why I started this whole podcast, because there's so many people that made so many records that I've always cherished for, you know, 15, almost 20 years, but I know very little about, and there's very little information about them. And
well, we definitely gave her a wake-up call, because she wanted to come back after that, so we must have did our thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then so I'm trying to remember the chronology here. Did the that Hip Hop Drunkies freestyle that the firm did that come out after the freestyle you guys did with Mary J, or was that after you did Fox
Anything
Hunters?
that she had to say about the group, like she went on the radio, called us a name or something, and she thought we were talking about her, which was so crazy to me, because we weren't at all. I didn't even know that she wasn't around. All I know is they was like, come on, get on the track. So
yeah, who's going to turn that down?
And I know she always thought people was talking about her, but I never was. I never had nothing against her, ever.
You did do a diss track, though.
After
the fact, yeah. But
after,
that was in, now, what?
That was with Die Hard.
Yeah.
About it. We did a version of that.
And you did Fox Hunters as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, you knew that she was saying subliminal things about you guys on the freestyle with Nas that the firm did over that Alcoholics beat?
It's crazy because it was mostly aimed at me, and the only one that she had a mild beef with was Hope.
Oh.
So I didn't understand why she was like coming at me, and she did a lot of blocking things, like business-wise.
Oh.
You know, that was just, you know, I was more so on like, we females, we could lock it down, and that wasn't what happened.
Do you feel that the fallout from that prevented whatever the next move for Femme Fatale was going to be? What was the next move for you guys?
Well, absolutely, it was a strategic move on her part, because I believe what happened was she was like, if you still deal with them Trackmasters, I'm not going to deal with you.
Okay.
I believe that was the move, and us being signed to them obviously is a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever happened after that, it didn't have anything to do with our talent.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And Foxy already had you know, records out, and
it was weird. It was just like
the move to Die Hard, was that after Trackmasters?
It was.
Okay.
Because I mean, we always knew them. We always knew them from Harlem, because Hope is from East Harlem. And that's where they used to have their studio at. And so many people came through, Genovese, Richie Thumbs. Like, we will always be T Diamonds. We will always be just in the studio with them making songs. So it was just like, oh, you know, when we was kind of left out in the cold, they were like, come on, let's just, you know, y'all get y'all's off. No one's giving you a voice right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you one.
I'm a really big fan of all the artists affiliated with Die Hard around that time period, and I feel like for whatever reason they get completely overlooked in retrospect.
Yeah, I
don't know what it is. I feel like there was a real great sound coming out of that camp.
It was just like a stepping stone. I believe a lot of artists that got a lot of exposure there didn't show the loyalty to, you know, what they were doing for them.
Yeah.
Like when we first had our meeting with Steve Stout, like our big meetings, T Diamonds was our manager.
Okay.
And you know, we really tried to, you know, keep it going with them, but you know, it's weird. Like certain people don't get accepted in certain positions, and then you have to make hard decisions.
Yeah. Who is there anyone, I don't want to put you on a spot, but is there anyone in particular that you feel was disloyal?
You mean to us?
Yeah. You said a lot, there was a lack of loyalty.
I feel like Trackmasters really wasn't, you know, into us as a group.
Yeah.
We couldn't say anything about how we were feeling, or it was always taken as an insult, a jab, when, you know, we had been at it way before we signed with them. And for you to like do radio interviews with our enemy and we sign to you, what kind of position does that put us in?
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Now, during the Die Hard period, how many songs did you record? What did you guys ever have an album that you were putting together?
I can't even count. Like, nah, because Nat, we recorded with his group. He had a group, 3 to Life.
Okay.
We would separate, be on different songs. So it's Genovese and Mo Money.
Yeah, I know the track you did with Mo Money. Tell me. Yeah,
I did a song with Big Zill too.
Okay.
Actually, she was coming through. And Eyewitness.
What happened with Die Hard? Why did that cease to be?
I think a lot of people just, once they got their buzz, they just broke out.
Yeah.
Because there was no paperwork. It was all trust.
Right. Is Nat still around these days? What is he doing?
I just about a year ago, I recorded maybe 12 or 15 songs with him.
Really?
Yeah. He's still working. He has his magazine, Streets Most. You know, he goes around the country a lot. He's doing mixtapes and stuff like that. He's a very private dude, though, so you would never know who he is.
Okay. Yeah, you know, he's a figure I've always been curious about because you heard him referenced or shouted out on so many mixtapes back in, mid-'90s. But
so many people came through that studio. Mace recorded up
Locks.
there. You asked about Face. He was up there. It was just so many people, and it was fun. It was really fun. Everybody was able to be creative, and, their style's so unorthodox. We could just go in and pretty much just do anything. He never really hounded people for money or, so, I mean, he hasn't stopped. So hopefully, we'll get to hear,
Hopefully I'll get to talk to him.
Well, I could help you with that.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. Can you even speculate what the extent of your unreleased catalog is?
Oh, I just had to recently start thinking about that. It's long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty long. It's longer because I just stopped thinking about what I'm doing, and it was just record, keep writing, and then after a while, you just have so much. It's hard to remember some stuff.
Is there anything particularly noteworthy that people might not know about that no one's ever heard?
There's a lot of things no one's ever heard. There's things that we can't get back from Trackmasters. Like we recorded a song with Nas, just my group and him, and we were all recording.
What was that like? What was that record like?
It was more so their style, and it was hot. It was hot, but some of the things that they have that we recorded, like when we were in Bearsville and we started working on our album, they have, and I can't get it.
And it's never seen the light of day?
No.
Oh man, that bothers me so much.
It bothers me a little bit too.
Yeah.
It bothers me a lot because when we started doing our album, we were in Bearsville, so we were in our cabin, and it was like Black was in there. We did a song with Black, which was something that Tone produced. And who else was there? Allure would come back and forth.
Okay. And
Corey Rooney had just came up and brought a demo of an artist he was thinking about dealing with. That was 50 Cent.
Oh, wow.
So 50 ended up being up there after a while.
Really?
In our session, actually.
Well, he's from your neighborhood then, too, yeah?
Yeah. I didn't know him back then.
Okay. You worked with Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. Were these artists that you admired coming up?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Were they big influences on you?
Well, my biggest influence, and it was really Nas.
I can kind of hear that.
I think that's why I take so much value in my writing skills and so much integrity in my work. Like I was always I felt like I would work with him one day.
Yeah.
Or potentially be better than him one day. That was where I set my sights. And working with Latifah, we have a lot in common, her and I. So that just was like a natural thing. We're both Pisces. We have kind of the same temperament.
Okay. She
doesn't curse a lot in her rhymes. I don't either, just naturally. So when we worked together, it was really just smooth.
Yeah.
And we hooked up with Lyte through Violet and Trackmasters. She was doing her album 707.
Yep.
She was working with Pharrell. That's how I got around them. It's just when you're doing that kind of work, you just cross paths with so many people.
Yeah. And artists like Latifah and Lyte, in contrast to somebody like Foxy Brown, who you obviously clashed with. These are female MCs who I think, like yourself, weren't overtly sexual in their lyrics or persona. Did you ever feel pressured to go that other route? Did anyone ever kind of, any like manager or?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, Hope and I, like, we battled that a long time. It was always like, okay, here's the track, right? You know, write about this. Like, people expect us to write about this. I remember we had a session one day, and they brought Shine through. And they were like, we got these girls we want you to write for. And he's listening to us. He was like, they don't need me to write for them. And this is what we went through, and it was always...
He might need you to write for him now.
I don't...
I should, shots fired. I'm sorry about that. Do you think the situation that female MCs face has changed much since you entered the game in the mid-90s?
I feel it's changed. One thing that I do miss about it is that I feel like they feel like it can only be one at a time. Yeah. Which to me is really weird. Yeah. Because you always have flavor before. It was like you could pick up a MC Lyte record, and you could also pick up a Queen Latifah record. Yeah. You could pick up a Nicki D record. You could pick up a Rod Digger record. Bahamadia, you got different flavors just like you do in R&B and different other genres.
Or just rap in general, just amongst male rappers. It's strange that you have, there's 9,000 well-known mediocre male rappers, but, there's only one or two female rappers in a given, 3 or 4 year span that get any kind of airplay or recognition.
Because a lot of men came out the street. They came out the drug game. And they started treating rap like the drug game, where females aren't very prominent. Yeah. And so they would put a guy on before they would invest in a female. And I believe that that's a big part of Nicki Minaj's success, is that her team actually put the work in. Yeah. In developing her as an artist and sticking by her maybe when her first record didn't go uber platinum or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, 6-7 years ago when she was coming up under, Fendi and doing tracks with Gravy in them. You know what I mean?
Before people started hearing her, dudes was bumping her mixtapes in Queens.
Yeah, yeah.
You heard them in the cars.
Yeah, absolutely. We spend a lot of time now talking about the 90s, but, that's sort of the time period I'm stuck in personally. Most of my favorite music came out of that decade. Those are, like my formative years, so to speak. But it's also kind of my departure point as far as familiarity with your music. I know you also worked with Royce the 5'9", the Neptunes produced Make This Run, which you kind of alluded to earlier. It seems like despite you not being as widely recognizable as many of these other rappers, you seem to find yourself amongst the elite time and time again.
Because people can say I'm crazy, but they can't say I'm whack.
Right. Are you comfortable with that? Or is that something that you come to terms with? That maybe you didn't get a gold record out. You didn't you're not a household name, but you set out to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. You did a song with Nas.
Yeah, I've worked with aside from the really really new people, just about everybody that I would have liked to work with. Yeah. A couple of people excluded, like Scarface. I would have loved to do something with him. But it's just, if you nice, you nice. Like people would just hear it and, let's get together and I could hold my own. And I just did. I ended up on a record with Royce the 5'9". When he was signed to, the other label, I ended up on a song with the Clips. Khalees. Yeah. I ended up, doing more than one song with Mo, when she was always around. And I was just blessed that way. I guess if you got something to give, people want it. That's the difference between someone that writes and doesn't write. Yeah. You have to depend on other people. And when, the next new hot person is out, you kind of stuck. Yeah. I'm not stuck. I create my own destiny.
Well, you're still making music today? You're still working on stuff?
I'm still making music.
Yeah.
I've evolved. I'm writing all kinds of music now. Things that I didn't attempt because I used to focus a lot on hooks. Because I found that a lot of people, especially people that battle or that, would get in ciphers like a Cannabis or, those kind of rappers, the hooks would be lacking. So I focused a lot on my hooks until I got to be like an expert at hooks. I can just come up with it easily, and that was very valuable to a lot of people. So that evolved into just writing full out songs, something that, you know, I challenged myself to do, and it's coming out really, really well.
That's great to hear. And anything for your own, under your own moniker?
Well, in between writing songs, I have to go in and write some rap, because when you're a rapper at heart and you're like writing R&B songs or you're writing rock songs, it's like you just gotta go in. Let me just go in. I'm gonna do a freestyle, something like that. But working with CMP Productions, we're putting together a catalog of songs to sell, and you know, not really thinking about, you know, what we're doing with it right now. It's just creating music. I go to Stush Studios in Manhattan, and record with this incredible engineer, Steve, and I've been working with some really talented artists like Spud Brooklyn, Billy Gamble. Billy Gamble was down with Finesse too. That's how we met. And things are coming out. It's just, it would be again like they wouldn't know it was me. I gotta recreate myself.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for your time. It was really great speaking with you.
You too.
Thank you. Nick Bishop, Marquee, for allmasters.com. Peace.
Bye.
'Cause everybody knows the thing she does